Right now, the headline ticker says the world is ending, but if I told you physics suggests you never end, would you keep scrolling or would you lean in? Welcome to Noetica, where we dig beneath the crisis scroll and touch the circuitry that drives reality itself. If you've ever felt more than flesh and bones, this river ride is for you. Tap like, subscribe, and drop I flow in the comments so the algorithm widens this current for everyone who's searching. Classical physics treated death as a brick wall. Quantum physics treats it like a river bend. Australian physicist Dr. Andrew Truscott once fired single atoms through a pair of slits. Each atom waited, yes, waited, until he looked before deciding its path, proving matter itself pauses for awareness. If atoms won't commit to a future without you, why assume you vanish when your pulse stops? Imagine a forest fire. Trees fall, ash floats, heat warps the air. But on a quantum ledger, every molecule's blueprint remains intact. If we mastered that code, we could rebuild the forest elsewhere, twig for twig. Stephen Hawking argued the same for black holes. Information is never lost, only rewritten. If that's true for stars, why not for you? Because you, like stars, are made of light. Your cells whisper with biophotons, packets of light carrying information about everything from DNA repair to mood. Think of those photons as tiny message bottles the river of consciousness sends downstream. Bodies dissolve, the bottles keep drifting. Death, then, is a threshold, not a finish line. The double-slit experiment proves that observation, the act of conscious attention, builds reality. No consciousness, no collapse of the wave. Remove the observer and matter reverts to shimmering possibility, which means when the brain receiver shuts down, the signal keeps broadcasting on a deeper non-local channel. Biologist Robert Lanza calls this channel biocentrism. Space and time are tools consciousness uses, not containers that trap it. In his words, death is like changing TV channels. The show changes, the electricity does not. If that feels abstract, let's ground it in story. Near-death experiencer Sandra, age 38, cardiac arrest, recalled leaving her body, floating over surgeons, then entering what she called the bright river that knew my name. Not poetry, testimony, and she's not alone. Across cultures you hear Duat, Bardo, Heaven, different names for the same current. German physicist Burkhard Heim tried to plot that current mathematically. His 12-dimension model pictures reality as stacked floors of a cosmic building. We roam the elevator every night in dreams, every lifetime in death. Traditional textbooks still camp on the lobby, but Heim insists the penthouse is real. So what does this mean for Monday morning? It means every thought, every micro-emotion ripples far beyond the skin. Your heart's electromagnetic field dwarfs your brain's by a factor of 5,000. When you feel gratitude, those waves turn coherent, like violins tuning to the same pitch, and coherence affects other hearts and, incredibly, Earth's geomagnetic field. In global coherence studies, synchronized meditation moments coincided with measurable dips in planetary chaos indices. Shift your inner river, and shorelines far away rearrange. Let's apply that with 4 practical tools. Picture the you that's already at peace, already curious, already unafraid of death. See that version downstream, waving back. Feel the tug, subtle but certain, of water leading you there. Replace, I hope I make it with I'm navigating. Hope begs, navigation directs. Language is the GPS of possibility. Before sleep, list 3 channels where the river flowed in your favor today. A kind word, a perfect parking spot, a breath that felt extra crisp. Each recognition thickens the current you want. Draw, write, dance, plant. Any act of creation carves a new side stream, embedding your unique signal into the quantum landscape. Delayed choice experiments show particles deciding retroactively based on future observation, meaning your present attention may edit the past script. Victimhood, therefore, is a mirage. Authorship is the default. If consciousness creates matter, and in each moment you choose the next branch in the multiverse, you're not a victim. You're a creator. Not someday, but now. Practices like meditation, prayer, gratitude, and frequency aren't just spiritual exercises. They're keys, tools, levers. With them, you not only guide your inner life, but also what you encounter externally. Change your thoughts, and you change the world, as the saying goes. But it's more than that. You change your reality. You shift the universe, the path, the future. If you're immortal, every decision is an investment in eternity. And recognizing that today isn't just another day, it's perhaps the first of your new world. What if you can't die? What if your consciousness moves beyond time, space, and body? Dr. Truscott's atoms didn't just pause for attention. They rewrote their own history when he delayed his measurement. In other words, your future choices can polish yesterday's mirror. Victimhood is a mirage. Authorship is the default. That's why ancient cultures guarded the power of sight. Egyptians etched the Eye of Ra on sarcophagi. Tibetan yogis rehearsed the clear light vision for the moment after heartbeat. They sensed what cloud chambers later confirmed. Observation is ignition. Remember, photons leaving your skin this second will travel for billions of years, carrying a spectral fingerprint of everything you felt. Information refuses to vanish. German physicist Burkhard Heim followed that trail and drafted a 12-floor model of reality, space-time on level 1, frequency realms above. Modern textbooks still mope in the lobby, yet Heim's elevator keeps showing up in near-death stories. Take Sandra's account. Flat-lined for 3 minutes, she saw surgeons from the ceiling, then slipped into what she called the bright river that knew my name. Thousands report the same tunnel, the same reunion with light beings, regardless of culture. Either they're in cahoots, or consciousness roams when the body rests. If time bends, so does destiny. Eternal life may not start after death. It might be the quiet background hum you've ignored since birth. And yes, that can feel daunting, but liberation sits on the same chair. An immortal being doesn't waste mornings on grudges or evenings on despair scrolls. Every decision becomes an investment in forever. It's simpler than breath work and faster than affirmations. The moment you catch yourself narrating your day, I'm late, I'm tired, I'm stuck. Pause. Swap the label for the river view. I'm transitioning, I'm recharging, I'm pivoting. One word shift, and the water changes course. Because words aren't decorations, they're paddles. But let's go even further and see what's really at stake. In classical physics, death was the end, but quantum physics says that after physical death, your information persists. Your energetic pattern, your unique signal, isn't erased. It's written into the field, beyond body and brain. You're not just a body, you are a living pattern that can, in theory, travel across space and time. Quantum physics gives us the tools to contemplate and even trace this signature. Death is not an end, it's a threshold, and what's beyond is not nothingness, but a new chapter in a larger reality. The implications are enormous. The double-slit experiment shows that matter behaves like a wave of possibility until observed. When an observer appears, the wave collapses into a specific outcome. So what happens when the observer disappears? Maybe only the perspective changes. Maybe your consciousness continues, tuning into a different frequency. Robert Lanza pushes this further, suggesting that space and time themselves are illusions, ways for consciousness to play, to learn, to experience. Like a dream, our reality may be a stage your mind steps onto, then steps off of. Death isn't the end, just a shift of viewpoint. This is more than philosophy. The evidence mounts in quantum biology and neurobiology. Your cells, your heart, your thoughts, all emit measurable fields that ripple out, entangling with everything. Modern research shows your heart's electromagnetic pulse is not just stronger than your brain's, but affects others around you, literally broadcasting coherence or chaos. Now let's talk about those other side accounts. Across cultures and ages, reports from near-death experiences echo the same story: a journey, a passage, a return. Egyptian duat, Tibetan bardo, Christian heaven, different languages for a shared field beyond time. German physicist Burkhard Heim mapped these realms mathematically, suggesting there are levels of existence above space and time. Not fantasy, but a model our instruments are only beginning to explore. If consciousness is the source, if you really are the river and not just the current form, then every moment you live is an act of creation, not just in your life, but across the whole quantum field. Every action, every thought, every intention is a thread in the tapestry of existence, influencing not just your own reality, but countless others. This invites you to live with awareness, to tune in, to co-create the experience not just for yourself, but for the whole. This is the invitation. Explore, question, be curious, be present. When you notice déjà vu, when you dream, when intuition flares, maybe that's your consciousness slipping between realms, reminding you that you are never just this one body, never just this single timeline. The boundaries between life and death, past and future, become fluid. Time is not the dictator, consciousness is the player. Every decision echoes forever. Every kindness, every shift of perspective is not just for you. It tunes the field for all. So as you move through your day, remember, you're not a passive passenger. You're a navigator, a composer, a ripple in the cosmic river that never really ends. And when you close your eyes tonight, let go of the headline scroll. Tune in to the river beneath. Know that this consciousness, this light, this story will always find a way forward. If you're ready to go deeper, hit subscribe, drop your thoughts below, and remember, the river flows, and so do you.